Chapter 7 of Her Nakedness. Paul, how come you never told me that you saw us? Peter managed to ask. Paul answered him, because I saw how guilty it made you feel. You stopped going to church meetings and even lectures. You didn't want to sleep on your bed, so you slept on mine. Then Peter recalled, yes, that's why you never asked me why I'm doing that, because you knew all along, he said as he covered his face in shame. Yes, I did. I just prayed for you, Paul said and continued, because surely you believe in the forgiveness of God, but there's another forgiveness that we sometimes miss. It's difficult to identify and it keeps us in condemnation. It doesn't help us to accept God's forgiveness. Peter now stared at Paul to hear his next words. So Paul continued, and that is forgiving yourself. And I saw that was what you were struggling with, telling yourself, how could you let this happen? So I prayed for you to understand that God knows that you are human and He has made provisions for your errors, and that what you do next is what matters. And I'm glad that this day you have boldly confessed that you don't want to find yourself in that situation again. Paul continues with a question. But I would still like to know what happened when I left for my group meeting. If you'd like to tell me. Peter takes a deep breath and said, As you were leaving, we were done with the assignment actually. So 10 minutes after you left, she also left. I went to take a shower and she joined me. Wow, so she didn't leave? Paul said. Yep, I saw her exit the door, but I guess she came back to get what she wants, Peter said. Hey, you see, we shouldn't be in a haste to criticize King David. I don't know who in this world could have resisted so easily, Paul said. Paul would, Peter replied, but added quickly, I mean, Paul in the Bible could have, Jesus could have, John the Baptist, the list goes on and on. Yeah. The kind of body that those people had, it was out of this world, Paul said as he gestured at Peter. Peter, take a look at your own body. You are no more turned on. Wow, how? I actually feel more relaxed. There is power in confession, Paul said and continued. The Bible encourages us to confess to each other of our sins and our intention or desire to sin. That breaks the power to err, Paul said. If only our Christian brethren can keep their mouths shut, Peter adds. Yes, so that's the problem in the church. So anytime you are struggling with your issue, you just tell me about it. Paul winked at Peter. Peter smiles and said, I will, man. And still on the topic of confession, Paul continues, I also have something I want to confess. During my early teenage years, I suffered from masturbation. I couldn't get out of it. And my dad being a pastor made it worse for me. I couldn't tell anyone, and I didn't even see that as a choice. But one half-night service, my dad was preaching, and Paul pauses and sees Peter, looking keenly at him. So Paul continues. He touched on the subject of secret sins. There was an altar call, and I gathered the boldness to go forward in front of the whole congregation. In fact, I was the first to come forward. And in front of the whole congregation, my dad asked me what my secret sin was, and then I said it. And he hugged me and prayed for me and told me that anytime I feel like it, I should come and let him know. I shouldn't be afraid, but I should come and tell him about it. He was there for me indeed. That day he was both a father and a pastor for me. And surprisingly, a lot of the youth came forward as well. And I was told that when they went home, they confessed to their parents, some to their siblings. Yes, so the day was good for us. Paul concludes. So since then, you have never done it again? Peter asks. To the glory of God, no. And I believe the same can happen to you too. You know, as friends, we've never had in-depth conversation about this topic before. Paul said, yes, it's good we've had it, huh? I, for one, avoided the whole topic because of my past. Well, thank you for sharing this with me, and thank you for letting me stay here for a while. And with that, Peter went to open Paul's fridge looking for food. Hey, I didn't say you are staying here. There's no food for you. Go and cook your own food, Paul said. Thank you for joining this great story. Please subscribe or follow to get updates on the next chapter. God bless you and be blessed.